Yeah, so since 4 o'clock this morning, I've been following different groups of illegal immigrants as they prepared to cross the English Channel. One group in a wooded area, and then this group behind us that is now leaving for the United Kingdom. They're very aggressive, they're almost entirely young men. The French police have stood here on the beach doing absolutely nothing. They made no attempt to prevent the embarkation from the beach. They made no attempt to intervene at sea either, even though the Belgians do. Andy Burnham's claim this problem sorted out is ridiculous, and that dinghy full of cheering illegal immigrants just shows how out of touch Andy Burnham is on this issue. So there were one or two people on that boat who seemed to be organising the other migrants, acting as the people smugglers, the ringleaders. One of them is the man there with his back to us with the racing end jacket. The other, I think, is the man leaving the sea now. Both of them left the boat, came back to the beach, and certainly the man with his back to us was organising the other migrants. Quite clearly he was a people smuggler. I went over to the French gendarmes, standing just over there, and I pointed that out to them. I said, are you going to arrest this man? You saw him organising the other migrants, but the gendarmes just shrugged and claimed there was not enough evidence and that they were not going to arrest him. And you see the people smuggler is now standing there talking to the NGO charity workers, no doubt discussing the next illegal boat crossing. So this gentleman says he's from northern Iraq, from Kurdistan. I think he says somewhere near Erbil. Why are you leaving France to go to the UK?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What's making you decide to leave France to go to the UK?
Okay, thank you.
I can't talk.
Can. Non, arrête, s'il te plaît.
Il n'y a pas le droit, hein.
Oui, je le sais.
Il n'y a pas le droit de...
People smuggler.
Fils de pute.
So we are here in the small coastal resort town of Burke, and it's about an hour's drive from Calais, and it's not the place that we normally associate with the migrant crossings, but we've just turned up here to film a piece of camera, and it's obvious what's happening. Smuggler gangs are now using these smaller towns as launch points to bring people over to Britain. We've turned up here and we've just seen a small group of migrants attempt to get to a boat just off the shore. Some of them managed to get on it, but we're crouched down here in the dunes because just around the corner are a group of migrants who've asked us not to film them, and we've got the French police have just passed by to make sure we're okay. Now, this is the location at the weekend where a migrant's body was found in these dunes directly behind me. French police haven't been very clear about the suspected motive of that crime. However, local workers say they were told by a gendarme who came around to visit them that that man was stabbed because he couldn't get on an overcrowded boat, and he was left for dead in the dunes here. Those migrants, potentially the ones responsible for that death, we believe, have made it to Britain and have still not been found. At about 5:30 this morning, we were on another beach about 30 miles down the road in a town called Wimereux, where we witnessed around 100 people trying to make a crossing on a large dinghy, but it wasn't large enough. About 80 people got on. It left about 20 still splashing about in the water. Now, we saw at least 2 women, 3 children, one of whom was only about 4 years old, being pulled out of the water by Coast Guard, fire service, and treated by paramedics. And it just goes to underline the absolute callousness of the people smuggling gangs, that they're trying to take people over who are so young and treating them in that way, and there could easily have been a fatality. Now, amongst that group, we spoke to people from Afghanistan, from Syria, from Iran. There were 3 men from India, from the Punjab region, who were also there, and they said they could pay £500 to £1,500 at a time to make these crossings, and if they're unsuccessful, they lose the money. One chap told us he's tried it 20 times, and he's not going to give up. So these are very determined people. What we saw from the police was they were, almost powerless really to physically stop so many people trying to board the boat. After they were pulled from the water, many of them were just sort of wandering around aimlessly. There didn't appear to be any concerted effort to gather them up and to find out who they are or where they've come from or where they need to go back to. So yeah, it's very dramatic scenes, and what we understand is that that was just one of many crossings overnight from Wimereux, from other beaches up and down this coast, and we expect by the end of the day that there's going to be probably a large number of people who've made that crossing to Britain.